Okay, so let's unpack this. We all know the job market's always changing, right? New tech, different challenges, new skills needed. But what if I told you some recent changes are way beyond the usual shifts? We're talking some truly unexpected, sometimes kind of bizarre new roles popping up. They're completely reshaping how we even think about what a job is. Today, we're doing a deep dive into these surprising, often pretty absurd new jobs emerging in the modern economy, influenced by, well, everything: AI, climate change, even, yeah, wildlife.
Exactly. And that's our mission here. We've got through a whole stack of sources, articles, research papers, even internal think tank notes.
Yeah.
Things like future absurdities, the new job economy, the AI-generated influencer alliance, something called the peculiar pulse of the job market, and the rise of absurdist professions. Our goal is really to cut through those big general economic headlines you hear. We want to show you the fascinating, sometimes funny, and really specific insights from these materials because they show what's truly driving those job creation stats today. And trust me, it's not the usual suspects.
Right. So let's start at the big picture then, because, yeah, on the surface, the numbers look pretty good. For June, the U.S. economy reportedly added, 147,000 jobs?
No.
Solid number. And unemployment dropped slightly to 4.1%. I mean, by the old metrics, that sounds pretty healthy, doesn't it? A growing job market.
It does, yeah, at first glance. But what our sources immediately flag is that it's maybe less golden age and more, well, one source called it a gold-plated rubber chicken situation. The jobs are technically there, but the kind of jobs,
Yeah.
that's what's really eye-opening. We're seeing this zany new reality. It includes positions like, and I'm not making this up, Gator Psychological Motivation Coach.
Right, really?
Oh, yeah, and AI smile calibrators. The research even suggests economists are kind of scrambling to invent new acronyms just to keep up. One source jokingly mentioned redefining the unemployment rate thing.
Mm-hmm.
They proposed natural alligator-induced unemployment rate utility.
Okay, wow.
It just points to this profound shift in what we're valuing as labor now.
And here's something else that makes you pause, especially with those hiring numbers. Despite all that hiring, 130,000 people just left the labor force in June. This is where our sources bring up something called discouraged worker syndrome.
Right.
It suggests people are stepping away, maybe feeling like their skills just don't match this weird new landscape. It really begs the question for you listening right now. Did you realize your competition might actually be some flawless smiling avatar, one with unlimited stamina and, crucially, zero snack breaks?
Never needs coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are these new absurd roles a symptom of this syndrome, or are this some kind of weird, unexpected solution? Okay, this is where it gets really compelling, I think. Let's wade deeper and, yeah, pun intended, into what our sources are calling the alligator-alcatraz workforce. This category alone makes up a pretty big chunk of these new surprising roles.
And we should stress these are absolutely real documented roles. The materials we looked at confirm 3,700 new jobs just in this very specific, very unique category. It really signals a new frontier, doesn't it? Where environmental management meets, well, unconventional security.
Okay, first up from Alligator Alcatraz, the swamp security analyst. So what do they actually do? Well, they monitor gator behavior using, swamp webcams, motion sensors.
Real-time data, basically.
Exactly, real-time data. And they analyze threat patterns. Like, are the gators forming a queue? Is that suspicious?
To use, seriously.
That's what the source material implies. They then recommend defensive fortifications, floating fences, maybe even motivational gator chants, believe it or not. Skills. You need a background in wildlife forensics, okay, but also basic cybersecurity chops.
So be predators,
Yeah.
apparently. To spot suspicious reptile hacking, like fishing, for actual fish. And they report breakout risks to both something called the Interspecies Containment Directorate and, the local swamp patrol.
Right.
What's important here, why it counts, is it shows this mashup. Wildlife conservation meets digital security. It signals that future jobs might need these really specialized cross-discipline skills, digital literacy, even in, well, the swamp.
That really does underscore how the lines are blurring, doesn't it, between managing an ecosystem and digital oversight. It's not just about, guarding the physical swamp. It's about understanding this complex, data-driven environment.
And once the perimeter's secure, apparently, our sources point to an even more peculiar role. This one focuses on the gator's well-being. The Gator Psychological Motivation Coach.
You're kidding.
I wish I were. They lead, and get this, morale-boosting yoga sessions for alligators.
Yes. Downward swamp teeth pose is apparently a documented technique. They also deliver inspirational missive mail to the gator barracks, whatever that means, and provide compassionate listening during hormonal snapping. Skills needed: a bachelor's in psychology or animal behavior, naturally, plus improv storytelling. One example given was prompting them with what if humans were snaps?
Some, I guess.
And you have to endure hisses, occasional tail flicks. It's fascinating because it expands the whole idea of the care economy, right?
Totally.
It shows how emotional labor, therapeutic stuff, is now being applied in these really unconventional, almost absurd animal-human situations, driven by the unique demands of these places.
It's truly remarkable, isn't it? It suggests that even in these, let's say, extreme environments, there's a growing focus on psychological factors, even for creatures with, as one document put it, more teeth than empathy. So this isn't just security anymore. It's about optimizing behavior in a way that's, well, highly nuanced.
And with all this going on, just managing the logistics of a swamp facility brings us to the rainwater tent drainage technician. Okay, so these folks, they patrol flooded tents with these high-grade mop squeegee hybrid tools.
Right, practical stuff.
Very practical.
Yeah.
Plugging leaks, installing what they call purposeful puddles for the alligator.
Purposeful puddles.
Yeah, maybe for cooling off. And they file daily wet forecasts. Skills, plumbing experience helps, cat-like reflexes to dodge, slow-moving gators, and a knack for folding damp tarp ergonomically. This job is essential, the sources say, because it highlights the direct impact of climate readiness on job creation. Even basic infrastructure maintenance in these new climate-sensitive detention centers creates critical, specialized jobs.
Exactly. And I saw one quote from an official observing, rather dryly, that these jobs are not dehumanizing, it's character building. They represent this new frontier of just practical problem solving in environments that demand resilience and a really unusual degree of adaptability. You're outwitting creatures, basically.
So what does all this really mean for the rest of the job market, especially as we move, beyond the unique challenges of the swamp? Let's shift gears from the literal swamp to the digital jungle, I guess, where completely different kinds of new labor are popping up.
Indeed. And prepare yourself, because now we enter the world of the AI-generated influencer alliance, the AIGI. This is basically a collective of, well, digital personalities who don't actually exist.
Right, the AI influencers.
Exactly. But, and this is key, our sources highlight they have engagement metrics that make human influencers sob.
Wow.
The research really emphasizes their lack of autonomy, though. Calls them glorified puppets, says they have zero agency, they're perpetually on script. Now get this. This alliance alone added 27,000 jobs last month.
27,000.
Yeah.
For fake influencers.
Well, for the humans managing them. And their meetings, apparently, consist mostly of silently processing data. This whole thing underscores the automation of creative work, promotional work. It's fundamentally shifting how we perceive the value of human presence online.
Okay, so who are these 27,000 people? Well, first, there's the script prompt engineer. Their job is to write the persuasive prompts that generate the AI influencer content. Things like smile soft, wink discreetly for maximum engagement.
So they're like AI directors.
Kind of, yeah. Skills include being fluent in GPT-style prompt writing, SEO-savvy phrasing, even knowing where to place the dinner utensil emojis correctly. These roles are vital because they show this new kind of human-AI collaboration. Human creativity isn't gone, it's just redirected towards guiding and refining the automated content. Prompt engineering is becoming a critical new digital skill.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how human ingenuity is now being applied to get authentic behavior out of things that don't even exist. It says a lot about where digital content is going and the demand for these perfectly curated online personas.
And from writing the prompts, we move to making sure it all looks right. That's the lip sync quality controller. They literally watch AI influencer vlogs, flagging any mismatch between the lips and the sound. Did your avatar say latte or lawsuit?
That's specific.
Apparently. They also run nightly calibrations so the teeth glimmer correctly, even across different languages. For this, you need certification in animation timing, deepfake awareness, and impeccable listening skills for phantom vowels. Why this matters is it highlights the growing need for digital authenticity checks. Quality control in a world just full of synthetic media. It's about maintaining trust when the smallest glitch can shatter the illusion.
The very telling sign, yeah. As AI content gets almost indistinguishable from reality, the human job shifts. It moves from creating it to policing its perfection and invention to verification, really.
And my personal favorite, reading through these sources, has to be the avatar attitude adjustment specialist.
Oh, this sounds good.
Right. They literally tune the AI persona's digital vibes, so they can flip them from being a sassy travel guru one minute to a hug emoji empath the next, all based on focus group mood swings. Skills. Psychology degree helps, meme analysis skills, and apparently 2 months worth of AI-generated life living on simulated beach vacations.
Research, I suppose.
I guess so. This job is basically providing emotional labor for bots that don't have labor costs, making sure the AIGIA reps aren't too robotic when they're trying to sell you toothpaste. It really speaks to how emotion itself is becoming a commodity, how these digital identities are managed like corporate assets.
And it's a huge strategic advantage for companies, let's be honest. Like the sources say, these avatars never unionize or ask for bathroom breaks.
Meh.
So companies are hiring them, or rather hiring people to manage them, faster than you can say sponsored post. It shows how businesses are looking for labor solutions that just bypass traditional HR headaches, really pushing the boundaries of what an employee even is.
But the wild ride doesn't actually stop there. June also saw other truly creative job titles emerging, beyond the swamp, beyond the bots, showing even more weird niches in the modern economy.
Absolutely. The patterns we're seeing really indicate how deeply technology and frankly some very unique societal needs are driving new kinds of job creation.
Okay, for instance, how about the pizza emoji translator?
That's what now?
Yeah. Pizza emoji translator, their job. Convert real pizza orders into precise emoji-laden texts, like pizza slice emoji, arrow, fire emoji, tomato, cheese, maybe a steaming mug emoji if it's hot, all for the algorithm to process. It sounds quirky, sure, but it validates how robust these new roles based on specialized digital communication are becoming. It's like the gig economy meets modern hieroglyphics.
And it highlights this increasing need for human interpreters, doesn't it? Between just normal language and machine language. Even for ordering dinner, it's a bridge job.
And then there's this one, the deepfake family reunion coordinator.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This role uses AI to simulate deceased relatives at Zoom reunions, capable of having, like, Great Grandma Ruth says, I never liked broccoli again.
That's unsettling.
It is. They cue nostalgia leaks, apparently, and even have an awkward silence generator. Skills include ethics certification, uncanny valley training, empathy calibration for sorrow managers. It's a weirdly real role, driven by this hunger for digital comfort, though our sources do note it's legally questionable in at least 3 states. But it reveals a definite market for advanced digital surrogacy.
That's a powerful example, though, of how tech is trying to address really complex emotional and social needs, pushing boundaries of digital interaction, even remembrance. It's like a whole new frontier for grief counseling, just virtual.
How about the drone-based compliment delivery pilot?
You're making these up now.
I promise I'm not. They fly drones over office lunchrooms delivering gourmet notes. Like, your Excel pivot table was divine, sir. Complete with the scented rose, dropped by drone.
Okay.
Requires a pilot's license, PR scripting skills, and even pheromone ROI tracking. It just proves that niche emotional reinforcement combined with drone tech equals an actual job posting. It speaks to this demand for personalized, almost theatrical morale boosting.
It does speak to that ongoing quest for new ways to engage employees, improve well-being, doesn't it? Yeah. Even if it's delivered by a remote-controlled device. The human touch, or maybe just the human thought, is still central there.
And if you thought that was niche, there's also the AI-staged puppy cuteness coordinator.
Oh, come on.
Real. They direct AI puppies posing for social media, commanding them to sit, tilt head, maybe BRB with tongue loll. This just confirms AI content creator roles are real, and now they're adorable. And definitely monetizable. It's the commercialization of synthetic cuteness.
The demand for engaging content is just so high, we're literally inventing artificial adorable animals to meet it. That's a direct reflection of the attention economy right there.
Our sources even briefly mention a virtual reality divorce mediator, another example of a traditional service just migrating to a whole new tech platform.
And all these jobs, when you look at them together, they paint a very specific picture. Our sources suggest they exist partly to address what we talked about earlier, that discouraged worker syndrome. So that the private sector is stepping in, offering these new kinds of employment that mix emotional support with regulatory needs, maybe adapting to a workforce struggling to find a place in more conventional roles.
Wow. What a journey through these truly bizarre new roles. It's clear the economy isn't just creating jobs in new industries, it's creating entirely new types of labor, mixing cutting-edge tech with, well, swamp critters and simulated feelings.
Yeah, the bottom line, as our sources really emphasize, is that when AI meets the swamp, meets the gig economy, creativity and these highly specific, often absurd job descriptions are the real winners. The economy is exciting again, maybe, if your definition is broad enough to include alligator therapists, virtual smile adjusters, and drone compliment couriers.
So, given these really unexpected emerging roles, what skills should you be prioritizing for the future job market? That's something to think about. Or maybe we should start debating if AIGIA avatars need to pay Social Security for their digital eyelash flutter. What is next for employment whimsy? Penguin Bastille keepers,
Sure.
nano drone popcorn toppers. The future of work, it definitely seems, is far stranger and maybe more inventive than any of us could have imagined.